Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Riderpiece Theater. Me, Alistair Dayhawk, and tonight, me proud to present Kamen Rider Gavv, episode 36. We're starting the dark times, everyone, because Lango has made his move. He is capturing people by the masses. He is capturing people in baseball stadiums, cruises, any place that people gather around, because his arm is twisted because the president has made this order of these 1,000 or 1 million dark treats that needs to be made. And Lango knows if he cannot fulfill that order, then his family is thrown under the bus, or in this case, in jail, and the company will be no more. So we're heading into the dark times. And plus, Lango knows by pulling this stunt, the humans will become aware of, the granutes' existence, because granutes at the end of the day are aliens, and they're adopting humans to create the candy crack, right? So, speaking of, the Ganyu world, we start the episode with as the Ganyu world turns, and we go to the president's castle, and Gavv has presented his new father-in-law with the first half of, the president's order. He presents, the president with, the dark treats, and the president is very impressed of Lango's work so far. And then Lizelle steps in and be like, hey, no, Papa, you're wrong. The credit should go to me and my husband, Gavv, because if it weren't for us, then Lango wouldn't be, be forced to be, working this hard. So we deserve the credit. And the president's like, oh, of course, I'm sorry. But you don't have to give the president kudos. But he's like, yeah, I know, but Lango is doing all the hard work. So, I'm impressed that he is fulfilling his end of the bargain. Because if he doesn't, then his entire family will be thrown in jail. Not sure about Gavv, though, because Lizelle will be like, no. If anything bad happens to Gavv, then you will get a mouthful from me. So maybe Gavv has a get out of jail free card in terms of, marrying the president's daughter. So the president's impressed by Lango's work, and, Lizelle is pulling the whole, no, it's me and Gavv. No. Don't get it screwy. And so we quickly go to, the human world, and as expected, Tokyo is in an uproar, because you see in the news that there's been mass disappearances in baseball stadiums, cruise ships, and all the other places, and which causes people to go into panic. And, you see Ritt and Sashika at the office, and they're eating food, they're having dinner, and they're listening to the news, and Sashika is, getting worried because of the boys. And speaking of the boys, we go to Dr. Nick's old house, and you see Shoma, helping Rakita getting, first aid. And Hanto is being, the good, loving boyfriend. He tells Shoma, do not let Hanto's words get to you. And Shoma is being all like, no, it's cool. Like, it's not affecting me. I'm okay. Don't worry about me. And Rakita, on the other hand, he's like blaming himself for what's going on, because, if it weren't for me, then this wouldn't happen. I should have joined the stomach company. I'm like, Rakita, it's not your fault. It's not. So don't blame yourself for Lango's actions, okay? Don't blame yourself. Relax. And then Hanto gave like a risky idea. He suggested, do you think it's time to tell people about the granutes? At least that way they are aware of them. And once they are aware of them, they'll be cautious and run away when need be. At least they're prepared. And Shoma's like, yeah, I think it's time. The more humans are aware of them, humans will become, cautious and aware and all that good stuff. But, it's a risk. It's a risk because already Tokyo is in panic. And to top that, you're going to tell the people, hey, there is, human life exists, and these aliens are the ones that are abducting people and all that. Wouldn't that cause a panic? But it's a risk they're willing to take because right now Tokyo doesn't know much about these monsters, and I think it's best that they get to know them so that they could get better prepared and just run away when need be, because of course they're powerless against these monsters, but the best they can do is to warn other people and just not be in huge gatherings, and everything's going to be well. Remember, the Kamen Riders are on the job. They're on the case. So we go to the offices of Shishika after the opening credits. Shoma returns and gets greeted by not only Shishika, but also 2 huge bags of candy. Well, snacks, not just candy. And then we quickly go to Rakita. He returns to see Dente and asks, okay, where's my antidote at? And Dente tells him, look, making an antidote takes time. I'm sorry. And you're dealing with Rakita here. He is not, he's an excellent fighter, but he is not great when it comes to not only controlling his anger, but also he doesn't have any patience. Dente, however, gives Rakita a briefcase, and he opens it up, and he's like, we don't know exactly what it is yet, but it's gonna be useful in the future. We go to Hanto, and he is looking at his iPad, and he notices a couple of things that be like, oh, great. People are mixing Shoma and the granutes, because the humans right now, they're texting, oh my god, it's the Kamen Rider again. He's the one who is doing these mass disappearances. He's a monster and all the other stuff. And Hanto's like, oh man, I cannot show this to Shoma. I need to fix this. And he mentions like, oh, ever since that bitter Gavv, situation, people are afraid of Shoma, and I had to make this right. So he does his thing, and then we go to the next scene. Shoma, you see Shoma like touching doors, and the reason being is that he's trying to find the door to the granute world, because in that way, if he could find a door, he can let the other riders know and raid the place and rescue the presses and all that stuff. It's all about rescuing the presses and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, Shoma replays Lango's words, so you can tell already that Lango's words are already affecting him. And then Jeeb all of a sudden shows up, and he doesn't fight Shoma, but instead gives him a card and disappears. And we go back to the office, And Shoma reads the card to everybody, and it reads that Lango's next target is Nagihama Aqua Hall. Yes, you heard that right. It's the same hall that Ritt is going to go to meet U.M.A in their first concert. And they're given the uh-oh look because Shoma and Sashika were like, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to break the bad news to her? Because, oh, this is bad. Really, really bad. And speaking of Ritt, she bursts inside, says hi to everybody. She notices Rakita for the first time, telling him, hey, who is this handsome stranger? And then all of a sudden brushes him off and asks Sashika, hey, is the items in question done? And Sashika points to it, and Ritt is all happy and like, oh, thank you so much for, doing this for me. I can't wait to attend the concert with this stuff. And she's all super happy. And Sashika was like walking on eggshells and be like, hey, Ritt, can you not go to the concert? And it was like, why can't I go to the concert? Well, with the massive disappearances that are going out in Tokyo, I think it's best for you to, go home where it's safe. And once it clears up and, you can go attend the concert, hopefully. But Ritt was like, no, I can't do that. I mean, U.M.A was there for me when times were down, and I want to be there for them for their first concert. If hell is breaking loose out there, I'm still going to go to the concert, so nothing is going to stop me. And so she takes her stuff and goes to the concert. And it leaves Shoma a bitter taste in his mouth because he's like, making a fist. Like he's frustrated towards himself. Like he's like, oh, I wish I could have said something to prevent her from not going. And, once again, Lango's words are haunting him. And you can tell that Hanto was like noticing that fist, and he's like, oh crap, it is affecting, Shoma. And so he, smartly, gives his iPad to Shoma, telling him, hey, look at these messages that the people that you rescued, they're pretty much, telling you that, hey, he saved me from this monster, and without him, I wouldn't be here today. And all these positive comments. And Hanto directly tells Shoma, like, look, you made a positive difference in the world. Like you're meant to be in this world. Because look, you've done a lot of good. And here's the results. And which causes Shoma to get all watery and be like, oh man, I didn't expect this, because remember, since the beginning, not now, but since the beginning, if you remember, every time he saves people, people like Ritt, remember Ritt, like she looks at Shoma for the first time in his armor form and be like, monster. Remember? Every single time Shoma saves a person, it turns into, oh my god, monster, save me. I'm like, wait a minute, this monster saved you. Why are you being mean to him? Why? Because he ends up being all sad after saving someone because he's been called monster so many times. But in this case, no. Like, he's not a monster. He's a hero and all that stuff. And, good for Hanto. He is there for his boyfriend. He is there for him. So after, having this moment and realizing that, hey, people love me. I've done some good. and tells Rakita and Hanto the plan. The plan is you two, save the people in that concert hall. Let me deal with Lango. And that's it. And we will go to the concert hall. So we move on from that moving moment to as the Ganyu world turns. Gota is very concerned about how this order is going to affect the business in a negative light. And Lango said, look, we had no choice. I had no choice. Either we fulfill the order or get thrown in jail. And the business is ruined. It's gone. So I have no choice but to fulfill it. And the dark treats are a means to an end. And our job right now, aside from fulfilling the order, is to change, the means. We have to change a couple of things in order to succeed in our goals here. So after that, we go to the concert hall where our heroes are at the concert with tickets in hand, and they search the entire building while Ritt is nervous as hell. When the heroes met at the sitting area, that's when the lights go off and the poison gas gets unleashed. And the poison is affecting the people sitting, and they go into sleep mode. And then we get to see the part-timer granutes attacking, changing people into presses. And then we get to see, Hanto and Rakita doing their mission while Shoma goes out and tries to find Lango. So they do their thing. Shoma goes and tries to find Lango, and he finds him, and Lango is displeased to find his half-brother again, and he's like, look, I defeated you. I have no time for you. You're wasting my time. Go away. And then we have Shoma's moment to shine here. Now it's Shoma's turn to say what he wants to say towards his older brother, which is, he said, and I quote, regardless if my birth was a mistake or not, I have people in my life who loves me, who believes in me. Thanks to my time in the human world, it changed me. I used my powers for good, and I ate lots of good food. I have finally found my happiness, and I will do everything that I can to protect what I have. My happiness, my friends, my family, from the likes of you. And as Shoma was about to use his Gochi pod, you see the gummies that were inside of the pod crying. They were moved by that speech. And all of a sudden, the pod, goes upside down. And Shoma's like, oh, what's going on here? Okay, all right, I will use this. And he transforms into Master Gavv. So his final form has been revealed, or his second final form. And yeah, the suit itself, it's pretty much his basic form, only more puffy and more, yeah. It's pretty much over Gavv, only with his basic Gavv colors. So yeah, and then we get to the rematch between Lango and Shoma, and Shoma has discovered that, in his master form, it's all about speed. And he is trying his best to at least, get a hit or two on his older brother, but thanks to his energy shields, he cannot until he pulled the Mind Shuffle. And what I mean about the Mind Shuffle is that in Yu-Gi-Oh!, how Yugi defeated Pegasus was switching souls. Remember, you know how Pegasus has the Millennium Eye. He has the power to look into people's minds, and he sees people's cards, and that's how he wins. So Yugi had this idea where, hey, let us switch switch souls here, because hey, if I draw the card and switch, and Pegasus tries to read your mind, you wouldn't know what I drew, because you didn't see it. So in this case, Shoma pulled the whole switcheroo with his forms. He flip-flops his master form from his over form, and that's how he managed to get past Lango's energy shields. And we get to see him break Lango's sword, which causes the shields to become useless. And we finally get to see, Shoma laying like the smackdown on his older brother. At the same time, you see Hanto and Rakita defeat their opponents. And poor Rakita, his driver is officially broken. Yes, because remember, last week, Lango took a swing at Rakita's driver, just breaking it, but still usable. But then now is no longer a use anymore. So Rakita, as of right now, after this, he is benched until it gets fixed. Rakita is benched. So we go back to, the rematch between Lango and Shoma, and it's all about, power and speed. And they're so far they're evening match, but Shoma, using, weapons from his old forms, he managed to take the advantage. And we even get to see Shoma using his sword and taking a slice out of one of Lango's eyes. So he has one eye now. And then he uses his master boost to pretty much give Lango the KO. And Gavv, apparently he was in the back watching this match, and he is in shock that I can't believe the red Gavv has defeated Lango, who's supposed to be the most powerful amongst the family. He is supposedly dead, and he just goes away in shock, like, oh my god, he can't believe what he saw. Before I move to the last scene, I bet you're wondering, why would Gavv reveal his older brother's location to his younger brother? I think his plan was to put Lango and Shoma together in hopes of Lango killing Shoma. Of course, the plan wasn't for Lango getting killed, or else Gavv wouldn't be as shocked as he got, right? Because I think his revenge was all about killing Shoma, and also, Lango, in terms of humiliating him and reducing him to a regular employee. It's all about humiliating him and be able to order him around the same way, he did towards him and Shida. That was his revenge. It was never part of his revenge to see Lango getting killed. That was never a part of it. But yeah, you see Gavv all in disbelief, like, I can't believe what I saw. And then we get to the last scene with Ritt, saying to everybody, hey, I enjoyed, U.M.A.'s first concert. I had fun. Nothing I fell asleep, but I felt okay, like I felt like nothing happened. Like she was a little bit upset, assuming that she missed maybe a few songs because she fell asleep. But no, it wasn't the case, obviously, right? But ultimately she had fun, and our heroes are gonna host another victory meal, and that's how the episode ends. Yeah. Lango is not killed, because the last time I surfed through the social media net, I haven't seen any pictures of the actor receiving his flowers. So yeah, Lango is still alive, which is good because I wanted to see him, kill the president and be able to take control of the Ganyu world, at least for a brief moment, right, until he gets backstabbed by his other brother, Knave. So yeah, I'm happy he's alive. Master Gavv, like I said, it looks alright. It's just, whatever. It's nothing too special. Shoma, but the most important thing is that Shoma now knows that, hey, he's meant to be here. He has people who believes in him. He has friends and family that loves him. And of course, he has that extended family that he needs to meet. So, yeah, he has everything going towards him. And now that he's free from Lango, at least for now, at least he's at peace. He's going to have his victory meal with his friends. Everything is hunky-dory. And now the president's going to get pissed because now Lango is temporarily out of commission. Who's going to complete the order? Has to be Gota. And then what else? I think that is it, guys. I mean, there's nothing else because, Shoma got what he wanted to say towards his older brother. Ritt gets to see her horse people. And, Shoma is received love from the people he has saved and whatnot. I think that's it. Guys. Give me your thoughts and opinions about this episode, guys. Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Did I miss anything? Even though I have my notes in front of me, I may have missed a couple of things here and there. Give me your thoughts and opinions about Master Gavv. Do you like the suit or you dislike the suit? I think it's okay, like I said before. Nothing too special. It's all about speed and then flipping to over Gavv with the power. It's like, it's something new. It's something different. Other than that, I think that's it, guys. Give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And I can't believe it. We're close to the 40s, and then we're heading into the final episodes. It's insane, and it's going to be one of those moments where it's going to be very tough to say goodbye to a show that has entertained me for so long. Because since Gotchard, Jesus. I'm not saying Geats was bad, but Gotchard has to be one of the worst seasons ever. Because why wouldn't Toei make a movie with Gavv and Gotchard, right? Why? We all know the answer there. Sure, Toei was put a spin to it, like, hey, we just don't have an interest in making a Gavv versus a Gotchard movie. No, it's not in the cards, but we all know why. Because, the show sucked. But, with Gavv, it's going to be very tough to see it go. But, it is what it is, right? All good things must come to an end, right? Any case, thank you so much for listening. And once again, give a like if you like it, and please subscribe. And I'll see you all on the other side of oblivion. Johnny!